Coach Jerry here, going live today from the main page. I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that I think that would benefit not only women, which we work with, but also men. Therefore, I thought I'd rather just go live on this page, and then if any person actually need help, I will have a cheat sheet to be able to download. So I got a few hacks for you to be able to finally go through this holiday time as we are starting now. If you're in the US, there is Thanksgiving coming up. If you are in Europe, likely there is going to be the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, and so forth. It's been proven that this is the time of the year that every single time, alongside with the summer, people go to this cycle of gaining more weight only just to try to lose it thereafter to get this New Year's resolution going on, and then coming over into the year, into the next year, then they try to do this stretch about dieting again until the summer, only to binge in the summer because they don't want to feel restricted. That was me for a very long time, whether it was losing 10 kilo and gaining back 11, whether it was losing 5 and gaining back 6. And I saw it so many times. And there is actual stats showing that when, especially in the US, when Thanksgiving is coming up, people do tend to gain weight. And it's usually not so many kilogram of pound. It could also be just a few. But it's really the mentality around it. It's really just this mentality about eating all the cookies, and then you have to eat. If you're in Thanksgiving, you have to eat, the turkey and the gravy and all, and all the yams and all that stuff. And so there is only one way to really get these things around is understanding that usually how hunger works and understanding how diet works, right? Because every single diet that you have out there, when you're talking about restriction, when you're talking about whether you're a keto guy, whether you're a vegan person, whether you're a uh, carb cycling, whatever, there is always something that there is a food group taken away, and this gives people usually more results when they do that, because whether it's vegan, whether it's keto, whether it's whatever you want, you get more results because you have the perception that there is certain food or food groups that makes you fat or makes you skinny. The problem with that is that it is not really that the reason is because it's simply moderation, right? There is moderation. And again, even if you go into the Mediterranean diet with moderation, then you would see as well results. The problem with hunger is that you never want to be, I mean, if you have to stick to some rules of a diet, you're gonna end up, either getting out of this rule because you're getting uncomfortable, because you cannot do that on a daily living. Meaning, like, let's say you do a diet during the week and then you say, I'm going out for the weekend. So you cannot really control the weekend, much like you cannot control the holidays or the summer. And therefore, you really do much better when you cut a lot of food groups out, because you say, even if I'm on a carnivore or on a keto, whatever, I know I'm not going to eat carbs. In the carnivore, I don't even know. I'm not gonna eat. I guess all the eating is really meat. Uh, you know, with the vegan, you taking away, all the animal products, right? And again, it's just like most people react really well to stuff like that because, simply put, they feel like they can eat more and they suffer hunger less, right? And this is usually the problem with the holidays, because in the holidays, you go with this period of dieting and then binging, right? And again, your body, you have to understand that the body is on cycles. The weight loss is on cycles. And when you should be really understanding that whether you have 10 kilo to lose, 15, 20 kilo to lose, chances are if you have 20 kilo to lose or more, you're not going to lose 20 kilo into once. You're going to have to lose 5 to 10 kilos. Then you're going to have to consolidate your metabolism and then lose the other 10. So why am I saying this? Simply because if you are one of those that lose and gain the same kilo over and over again, chances are you have a very good metabolism that allows you to lose weight, but chances are you don't understand that the problem is behavioral. It's your behavior, is what you're not doing. Is you're really not getting around the fact that you cannot control your mind, right? And this is where I want to start. You need to stick into a somehow calorie deficit that still allow you to get results. And so I'm going to give you 2x right here, and then I'm going to build a whole checklist throughout the holidays. I'm gonna give you 2 hacks and a fact. So one thing that you wanna be doing is holiday, because we've proven time and time again when we did the challenge the last 2 years, is that most people during the holiday, they gain weight, whether it's 5 kilo, 10 kilo, whatever. Most people, they do gain weight. When we did the challenge, most people either maintain or stay the same or even loses weight, right? Which is amazing. So what does that tell me? Is that how we work with people, we basically work behaviorally. That means like we get them aware of what they're doing and what they need to do, right? So basically, and this is one thing, it's like really mark down all the days that you're not gonna be thinking about food, that you're not gonna be tracking food, that you're gonna really go, like for example, Thanksgiving Day, maybe the day after, there is Christmas, Christmas Eve, and then New Year's Eve. So it's like 5 days, right? 5 days are not enough to undo the whole progress if done correctly. The problem is that if you just say there are these 5 days plus, sometimes I'm gonna be dinner out, sometimes I'm gonna do this, sometimes I'm gonna do that, and then it's easy to undo a lot of progress. So one you wanna be finding those days. You wanna be able to create a calorie deficit still through those days. Okay, so if those days adds up, usually that you're gonna hit 10,000 calorie or 5,000 calorie, you want to be finding a way the day before and the day after to somehow compensate it, right? And I'm going to tell you more into the spreadsheet when it comes up. And the last one, and this was an extra one, you do need to understand that for losing weight, you will need a calorie deficit, whether you're working out more, you're moving more, whatever. For most part of the world, this holiday season is going to be cold, right? So you know that you cannot go out and walk so much. So you really don't have much on the output. And you also know that dieting too hard is very hard, right? So you need to create that deficit, whether it's a 300, 500 calories that you can maintain, in which you still see results, but you don't suffer too much the hunger, which is basically the problem. Okay, so whether it's a weekly deficit, whether it's a daily deficit, you need to come up with a deficit. And the fact, which I said I was going to give you a fact as well. The fact is simple. The fact is that whether you are starting a journey, there is 2 times in the year that people gain more weight: the holidays and the summer. But there is only one, that if you start the journey on this specific time, you likely to not only lose the weight, maintain it off, because you're going to have created habits around it. Okay, you're going to have understood how to behave through the holiday, how to behave through the summer, which is essentially the same thing, how to behave to holiday, how to behave to vacation. And this is that you either need help, help of some coaches or some professional. You either get help, or you basically are destined to be doing the same things all over again. In other words, if you're one of those that you gain the weight and lose it, and every holiday is the same, then you need to help. You need to get help. And with this being said, there is our Black Friday waiting list. This is gonna come up in about 10 days during Black Friday. I usually suggest that number one, you come and cheat sheet. This way I can actually give you everything. And then, of course, if you wanna be on the Black Friday list, just check my page, because there are a bunch of posts about it. Talk to you soon. Hopefully it was helpful. Bye-bye.